Hello, how you doing? My name is Antonio. My page is Unapologetically Black AD West. I ask that you like and subscribe to the page. One of the purposes of this page is for Black Americans to identify the hatred and the negative propaganda that is placed upon us and the people who specifically do that, and the outlets in which they use to disseminate negative propaganda against us. uh, 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 I stumbled across somebody had suggested that I watch a podcast called BPD, and they had suggested to watch them about their political advice. And sadly, it was a Black person who did not understand that these people build their political base off of promoting hatred for Black people. The host, uh, uh, which is named Davis, Patrick Bet Davis, is an Iranian nationalist whose family fled Iran due to the Iranian war or controversy where American Republican government overthrew uh, their democratically elected officials in order to seize or keep control of their oil resources. This is why his family fled Iran. Yet he comes to America and becomes a Republican and report this and promote the same policies that created dysfunction in his own home country. And this individual have the audacity to promote hatred towards Black people. So PBD podcast as well as Value Entertainment, I am naming as one of the most bigoted podcasts on YouTube.
Reasonable question for you. What was, and Adam, here's a question for you. You said violent protest. You used those words.
Twice. I said violent twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said J6 is violent.
Yes.
Was BLM protest violent?
I ask that you watch the video in its entirety and you see how they felt necessary to correlate Black people with violence when we had nothing to do with the entire discussion.
You lose credibility when you say 2,977 people died is less of an event than one person dying on J6.
That's not.
When you say that, you've already.
That's not. You're manipulating what I said, twisting it. What I said was January 6th was a more severe attack on the United States. September 11th had more casualties. There's a difference.
Hello, my name is Antonio. My page is Unapologetically Black. I ask that you like and subscribe to this video. I need Black people to understand those people who are in support of white supremacy and are of the Republican Party, they can only deliver a message by diluting or misconstruing a message. They have an issue with facts, logics, and truths. So they resort to misquoting, misstating people out of context. He should be able to understand as a political pundit that what he was explaining is January 6th was the internal attack versus September 11th, which was an external attack. One was a direct attack on our democracy and our way of life, but as a political pundit, he should be able to understand and see that. But because his goal is to manipulate and to reinforce the viewpoint of a white supremacy, that he cannot make that correlation.
country.
How do you measure worse? There's got to be data. You said you were data.
Foreign enemy on September 11th of 2001. The casualties were horrendous, as they were on December 7th of 1941. But the attack on January 6th was more severe also than the attack on Pearl Harbor.
Well, some would call it attack, but from the videos that we saw, Steve, from Twitter and just undercover cameras, it didn't look like an attack. If somebody
what are you talking about?
I'm just talking about all the videos that we've seen, the undercover.
We're going to give riot warning. We're going to try to get compliance, but this is now effectively a riot.
49 hours declaring it a riot.
5 to 50, be advised, Capitol Police 1 advised they're trying to breach and get to the Capitol.
What do you mean all the videos?
All the videos on Twitter.
Well, all the videos on Twitter?
Yeah, hold on. All the cameras. It didn't look like an attack. If somebody.
What are you talking about?
I'm just talking about all the videos that we've seen, the undercover.
What do you mean all the videos?
All the videos on Twitter.
Well, all the videos on Twitter?
Yeah, hold on.
He who provides the circumference of your knowledge decides the diameter of your information. He's talking about video footage that was selectively edited and showed by Tucker Carlson that show violent events. And then he's have decided to automatically any other information that says anything contrary to what he wants to believe is false media, is false news, fake news, false media. He who provides the circumference of your information decides the parameter of your knowledge. And this is what
and tell me that the attack on January 6th didn't happen, that the violence, the bludgeoning of the police officers didn't happen because of some bullshit on Twitter. Here we go.
Steve, I'll give you my opinion, and then you could talk. First of all,
it's not an opinion.
Hold on.
It's not an opinion. It's a bullshit conspiracy.
All right, time out. I'm not only in New York.
We have a breach of the Capitol. Breach of the Capitol.
I'm a veteran. For you, time out.
Yeah.
My sister's a veteran. My brother's a veteran. He's a veteran. For you to listen to me. For you to say that January 6th.
whoever provides the circumference of your information decides the parameter of your knowledge. He is a Trump fanatic, and Trump has no feelings or do not care about veterans.
Kelly confirms Trump didn't want wounded veterans in a military parade planned for Independence Day because it, quote, doesn't look good for me, meaning Donald Trump saying that. Kelly also says Trump, quote, rants that our most precious heroes who gave their lives in America's defense are losers and wouldn't visit their graves in France. Kelly then appears to comment on Trump's most recent attack on General Mark Milley, in which the former president suggests he be punished by death. Kelly describes Trump as a, quote, person who cavalierly suggests that a selfless warrior who has served his country for 40 years in peacetime and war should lose his life for treason in expectation that someone will take action.
In expectation that
especially wounded veterans or veterans who have died in the name of defending this country.
Compared to 9/11 that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Hold on, let me finish. Number one, it wasn't an attack. It looked like a guided tour. Okay, that's what it.
You're a nut.
Are you? Yeah, you ain't right. I am. It was a guided tour.
A guided.
We need to hold the doors of the Capitol. I need police support. lost the line. We lost the line. All MPDs get back. All MPDs get back up to the upper deck. All MPDs get back to the upper deck.
They were peaceful people. These were great people. The crowd was unbelievable. And I mentioned the word love, the love in the air. I've never seen anything like it.
He's aware that he is a nut. He didn't even argue that. He know that. See, people reveal who they are. He know he's lying. He know this is false information.
You think
a guy beating the cops with all the violence?
Who died? Ashley Babbitt, a veteran, they shot. The Capitol Police shot her ass. What is that guy getting in trouble? You're just upset.
You have to understand that the definition of violence changed when it is committed by white supremacists. It's no longer considered violence, it's a right to.
Mike Pence is going to have to come through for us. And if he doesn't, that will be a sad day for our country. And Mike Pence, I hope you're going to stand up for the good of our Constitution and for the good of our country. And if you're not, I'm going to be very disappointed in you. I will tell you right now.
I'm telling you what, I'm hearing the Pence. I'm hearing the Pence just caved.
No.
Is that true?
I didn't
I'm hearing reports that Pence caved.
No
I'm
way.
telling you, if Pence caved, we're going to drag through the streets. You politicians are going to get drugged through the streets.
Yes.
I guess the hope is that there's such a show of force here that Pence will decide to do the right thing, according to Trump.
Bring out Pence. Bring out Pence. Bring out Pence.
You have to understand that the Department of Justice has been used only as a means of prosecuting you as blacks. This is why they always bring up black on black crime. What about crime in the inner city? But when it comes to holding them accountable for their criminal actions, the definition of violence changes.
That because Donald Trump said, you know what, they probably cheated. You don't think he has a leg to stand on that they did it in 2016? Hillary, Russia.
No, he don't, because Donald Trump lost the popular vote but won the electoral college vote. I'm saying the ignorance that these white people or white supremacists will sprout out is ridiculous. And this is why you have to have black media. This is why you have to learn to get your news sources from people who share your perspective and have your interests at heart, because this is the propaganda that these people spread.
FBI colluded. Are you like? How are we crazy, Steve? How are we crazy?
I mean, this is going to be on video, so I mean, you're going to speak for yourself.
No, I'm going to speak for myself. Hate for one guy because he loves this country so much.
He loves the country.
Bullshit. He does.
God, you're a fool.
How am I a fool? How am I a fool? You have Trump derangement syndrome. You just hate him. You just hate the guy.
You are taken in by a con man.
No, I'm not. I guess
he
what?
loves
I'm
the
not
country.
A Republican.
Trump loves.
The statement ends with Kelly saying Trump is a, quote, person that has nothing but contempt for our democratic institutions, our Constitution, and the rule of law. There is nothing more that can be said. God help us. Kelly served as chief of staff from 2017 to 2019. He has criticized Trump before, but this statement marks the first time these comments have been confirmed by Kelly, who was present at the time they were made.
Well,
and of course, the chief of staff is right in there and sees everything all day, every day, and gets a real firm sense of a situation, which is why that expectation line is chilling and something we believe to be true.
The country.
You damn right he does. He's been saying it since the 80s, 90s on Letterman and all these shows.
He's a guy on September 11th who went down, said he was down there. He wasn't. He's a guy who called in on a radio. He said, now I got the tallest building in Lower Manhattan. He's a guy who lied about Muslims cheering it in New Jersey from Jersey City. He is a con man. He is a liar. And that you have fallen for this bullshit.
I'm not falling for anything, Steve.
Please.
None of the Trump characters matter now because it's about white supremacy. I need my black people to understand what all this is about. White supremacy. Trump has no policies, nothing to done to American people as a collective. They're fighting for white supremacy.
Steve, how about this, Steve?
You guys don't seem to be a whack job like this guy.
Yeah, I'm a whack job.
But you know what it is, though, Steve. You know what it is. So for me, I want to respect the voter, and I think there are millions.
I'm curious if you want to respect the voters elected Biden in there. January 6th was an attempt to deny the voters' choice. You want to respect a selective group of voters, which is white supremacists.
If not tens, who feel like he does. I
don't give a how he feels. And this is
and I don't give a how you feel.
And this is
Mr. Trump has been indicted already on 13 counts for his alleged efforts to overturn the 2020 election results. The former president will surrender to authorities at the jail. They will process him, fingerprint him, and possibly take his mugshot. That's a live aerial view right now of the motorcade as it makes its way toward the jail. The process the former president will undergo is what many of his co-defendants have already gone through. You can see their mugshots here. Mr. Trump and the 18 other defendants are accused of engaging in what the DA called a criminal enterprise to overturn Georgia's election results. All have been charged with violating the state's racketeering or RICO law, often used to prosecute organized crime. This is the fourth time the former president has surrendered to authorities this year, but this time will be different than the other three. Well, he will be processed and released on a $200,000 bond tonight.
This is important because you can watch the video. You can watch the video. You can watch the actual video of the insurrectionists attacking the Capitol. That's real. It happened.
They attacked the Capitol. Okay.
Can I just weigh in on one thing? You guys are both wrong and you're both right. Let me explain. Both days are horrible days in American history. We're comparing what's worse of a tragedy when they're both horrible tragedies. So who's right, who's wrong? You're right more symbolically. Correct. This is an attack on our democracy, the peaceful transfer of power.
What was the purpose of even bringing up Black Lives Matter? This is why I say this is one of the most bigoted shows on YouTube. Why? First of all, Black Lives Matter protests were mostly peaceful. Most of the violence created throughout the Black Lives Matter protests were created due to white supremacists who infiltrated the Black Lives Matter protests in order to destroy and burn buildings.
So we're going to go to a separate topic.
I'm question for you.
Yes, it was violent.
What's more violent, J6 or BLM riots? How many businesses went out of business, or how many businesses were?
Listen, when I tell you these are deployable, sick people. And this is the hatred that is sprouted all throughout the internet about black people. If you don't understand how in-depth the hatred is for us as a people is throughout America, then you're not really paying attention. or you got your head in the sand like an ostrich in the presence of danger because you don't want to face what we have to deal with as a people.
Trash during Jay said.
Now I have to defend BLM.
You do, because you used the word violent.
They were both violent.
No.
Just like 9/11
no, it's not.
was also a horrible day.
That's not how.
Just like January 6th.
No, that's not how
There's
it works.
levels.
That's not how it works. Or you got to say the black people was more violent than the white people is how it works. See, you have to see the bigotry in their whole behavior, in their whole setup. And because there's no real black person there to speak up and call them out on this pure racial hatred that they have for us, that this continues and is overlooked. But I'm going to call this out. This is one of the most bigoted channels on YouTube.
One can be violent when the other one can't?
It's not. No.
Why
so
can't
January
you
6th was
understand?
peaceful and only BLM was violent. I got it.
Why?
We have a breach of the Capitol! Breach of the Capitol! We need to hold the doors of the Capitol. I need police support. We lost the line. We lost the line. All MPDs get back! All MPDs get back up to the upper deck! All MPDs get back to the upper deck!
They were peaceful people. These were great people. The crowd was unbelievable. And I mentioned the word love, the love in the air. I've never seen anything like it.